Floyd Mayweather is facing 2 felony charges for allegedly writing a $200,000 bad check to buy a luxury watch. Court records show the boxer was charged in April with theft as well as drawing and passing a check without sufficient funds with the intent to defraud. Prosecutors allege that in 2024, Mayweather wrote the check to a designer resale store in Las Vegas, despite not having enough funds in his Wells Fargo bank account. Mayweather's attorney and representatives did not immediately return the Associated Press request for comment. The case is scheduled for a hearing in September. Floyd.
What's good, everybody? Hope y'all doing well. Had to tap in today because Floyd Mayweather found himself back in the headlines after news broke yesterday about 2 charges connected to a case that was filed in April, but stems from an incident that allegedly took place back in 2024. But hold up, once the story started picking up steam yesterday, more and more outlets jumped on it, and a lot of y'all were already in the comments saying the same thing. 50 Cent is about to have a field day with this. And listen, if you know 50, you already know he wasn't letting an opportunity like this pass him by. He posted, "Damn, champ, what's going on? If you needed some money, you should have called me. We could have stopped all this from getting messy. Now the feds are looking for you. Love you, bro. I ain't mad anymore. Call me." Now come on, man, that's classic 50 Cent trolling right there. I don't think he actually wants Floyd calling him looking for help. And honestly, from everything we know so far, I'm not even sure the federal government is involved in this situation like that. At least based on the reported allegations, this appears to be a state-level matter, unless there's something else happening behind the scenes. And let's be real, Floyd already has enough on his plate with other legal battles and lawsuits that have been making headlines recently. For those who haven't been following the story, here's where things stand. According to the complaint, Mayweather allegedly wrote a $200,000 check from a Wells Fargo account to Gold and Beyond, a luxury resale boutique in Las Vegas, on December 31st, 2024. The filing claims there were not sufficient funds, credit, or available assets in the account to cover the full amount of the check. Reports also state that ESPN obtained documentation connected to the purchase of an Audemars Piguet watch that was reportedly bought on December 25th, 2024. The theft allegation claims the check was used to obtain property or services while allegedly knowing it would not be honored when presented for payment. The complaint further states that the act was committed knowingly and without lawful authority. If convicted on the fraud-related charge, Mayweather could reportedly face prison time ranging from 1 to 4 years, along with fines and restitution. Under Nevada law, the felony theft allegation could potentially carry even steeper penalties, including additional prison time and financial penalties. Now, man, you won't believe how this situation ultimately plays out, because there are still a lot of unanswered questions. But one thing that immediately caught my attention was the reaction from 50 Cent. We all know those two have been trading shots for years, and throughout that entire back and forth, 50 has consistently argued that Floyd's financial situation isn't quite what many people believe it is.
Until somebody beat him, that's who he is.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah, that's what you think. It's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight.
All that money?
It's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like with the lifestyle, that money's gone, trust me. Now it's like, you call him, he'll be at your local hostel in a nightclub because you need that action right now.
And over the last several months, that narrative has only gotten stronger because of everything that's been circulating online involving Floyd Mayweather. We've already seen the discussions surrounding IRS issues over the years, then you add this latest situation into the mix, and when you actually read the details, it gets even more interesting. According to the jeweler who sold the watch, there was already an established relationship between him and Floyd. He said he trusted the transaction and believed everything was legitimate because of that history. And listen, maybe this is just billionaire business, but who's still writing checks these days? I can't even remember the last time I saw somebody use one. But the jeweler explained that because it was Floyd, he had no reason to question it. He said he kept reaching out after the payment wasn't clear, basically telling him, "Hey man, the check bounced. You already have the watch, so what's going on?" At that point, the issue wasn't complicated anymore. The money simply wasn't in the account. According to the allegations, Floyd stopped responding altogether and went completely silent. And that's where people start connecting dots, because if everything was just a misunderstanding, why suddenly disappear when questions start being asked? Hold up, that's the part a lot of people are focusing on. Then, when you look at everything else that has surfaced over the years, it only fuels more speculation. We've seen reports involving child support disputes, claims of significant back payments, and monthly obligations that have made headlines. We've also seen Floyd file lawsuits involving hundreds of millions of dollars that he says were taken from him. Then other information comes out, the challenging parts of those claims, and creating even more public debate. There have been stories involving luxury purchases, business deals, jewelry transactions, designer items being sold, and even discussions surrounding his private jet and other assets. Whether all of that means anything in relation to this case remains to be seen, but you won't believe how quickly people are tying all these stories together online. And when it comes to this watch situation specifically, it stands out because Floyd has practically become synonymous with luxury watches over the years. Man, if you spend 5 minutes searching online, you'll find endless compilations showing off his watch collection and some of the most expensive pieces money can buy.
Vacation, my fault. When I go on vacation for 30 days, I take 30 watches with me. But you know what? What's crazy is this. If we add 10 more days, I take 10 more watches. But then I say, if I want to bring out the one and only, then I bring out the watch that costs 18 million. Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do for you today? I'm gonna $50,000 because I ain't got to do. Money made all day.
And when I look at all of this, the first thing that comes to mind is, man, how many watches does Floyd Mayweather actually need? Because at some point you start saying, bro, you already own just about every luxury watch imaginable, and you're still buying more. If the money isn't flowing the way it used to, that becomes a real conversation. We've heard reports for years that Floyd spends well over $1 million a month just maintaining his team and lifestyle. There are also plenty of people who believe the money is going out faster than it's coming in these days because he's no longer collecting those massive 9-figure paydays from blockbuster fights. Those huge boxing checks aren't showing up the same way they once did. And listen, no matter how wealthy somebody is, if they keep spending at an elite level without replacing that income, eventually it catches up to them. That's just how money works. When it comes to Floyd, I've always respected his talent and what he accomplished in the ring. Sure, there have been things he said or done over the years that I didn't agree with, but I've always viewed him as one of the greatest boxers to ever do it. Part of his brand has always been the luxury, the flashy lifestyle, and showing off success. That's his choice. But hold up, once stories like this start making headlines, people are naturally going to question everything, because some of it simply doesn't add up. Even now, you see Floyd stepping back into exhibition fights and looking for additional paydays. Then you have some of the people he's currently involved in legal disputes with, claiming financial pressure is the reason he got back into celebrity boxing in the first place. One individual even suggested that money concerns were driving those decisions. Now, I'm not sitting here pretending to know exactly what's happening behind the scenes because I'm not involved in Floyd's business affairs, but it does look unusual considering he spent years telling everyone he retired healthy, financially secure, and with nothing left to prove. The bigger issue may simply be maintaining a lifestyle that requires an enormous amount of money to sustain. Sometimes people get so committed to protecting an image that they refuse to adjust when circumstances change. And personally, I don't believe Floyd is broke at all. I think the real issue could be trying to maintain a level of spending that becomes difficult to justify over time. That's not necessarily about being poor. It's about refusing to make smarter financial decisions when they're needed. Because at the end of the day, trying to impress people who only see a small portion of your life can become a very expensive habit. Most people don't actually know what your day-to-day reality looks like. They only see what you choose to show them. As for this particular situation, the responsibility ultimately falls on Floyd to address it and clear things up. I have no idea what the outcome will be, whether it gets resolved privately or if there are more serious consequences ahead. But if the allegations are true, it would be a terrible situation for someone of his stature to face major legal trouble over something that could have potentially been handled differently, especially if the belief was that reputation alone would be enough to keep things moving until the payment situation got sorted out. The problem is, according to the allegations, communication never happened. The issue remained unresolved, and the watch was reportedly kept for a long period of time. That's why this story continues to generate so much discussion. And like I've said before, it all circles back to one lesson. You can earn hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even approach $1 billion, but if you don't manage it properly, none of that wealth guarantees long-term security. In some cases, having unlimited money without discipline can create more problems than not having it at all. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content.